Now, as you can recall from the previous lecture, the negative sense RNA viruses were left. So today we are going to finish it up. And for this, you have to remember that negative sense RNA viruses must have retroviruses within their capsid so that they can replicate, or they can make messenger RNA with the help of those um, enzymes, that is retroviruses. As you know that the host cell doesn't have enzymes to encode proteins that are contained in RNA. The first one in this series is paramyxoviridae. Paramyxoviruses, the param is coming from Latin word meaning near, and myxo is a Greek word for mucus. They are medium-sized, enveloped, negative sense RNA viruses with a helical nucleocapsid. Different genera of paramyxoviruses are responsible for mumps, measles, viral pneumonia, and bronchitis in children, and mild upper respiratory infections in young adults. They have different sizes, about 150 to 200 nanometer in size. Then we have Rhabdoviridae. Rhabdoviridae also has one copy of negative sense RNA. Rhabdo is a Greek word for rod. They consist of medium-sized enveloped viruses. Although these viruses have an envelope, the capsid is helical and makes the viruses nearly rod or bullet shaped. As you can see here, it seems like a rod or bullet shaped. Rhabdoviridae virions contain an RNA-dependent RNA polymerase that uses the negative sense strand to form a positive sense strand. The newly produced strand serves as a messenger RNA and as a template for the synthesis of new viral RNA. Human rabies almost always results from a bite by a rabid animal uh, that is carrying the rabies virus. Rhabdoviruses also infect other vertebrates, invertebrates, or plants. The Legovirus, which produces disease in bats, and the Macolovirus, which infects shrews in Africa, are closely related to rabies viruses. Then we have, they are of 70 to 180 nanometer in size. Then we have Orthomyxoviridae. Ortho is a Greek word for straight, and they are also medium-sized enveloped negative sense RNA viruses that vary in shape from spherical to helical. As you can see from here, they can be spherical or helical. Their genome is segmented into 8 pieces, and like the paramyxoviruses, orthomyxoviruses have an affinity for mucus. Influenza virus A, with which we are all very familiar, is an orthomyxovirus that also infects birds, swine, horses, and whales. Influenza virus B appears to be specific to humans. That means that influenza virus B only occurs or only infects humans. Then we have Filoviridae. Filoviridae or filoviruses are enveloped filamentous single sense RNA viruses. These viruses can be transmitted from person to person by close contact with blood, semen, or other secretions, and by contaminated needles. The filoviruses include the viruses responsible for Marburg and Ebola diseases, which are hemorrhagic fevers. And their sizes, they are quite small, about 18 nanometer in size. Then we have Bunia variety. Bunia viruses also, they are also enveloped negative sense viruses whose genome has 3 segments. Bunia viruses can be transmitted by arthropods, but rodents typically are the principal host. That means that this type of viruses actually infects rodents. The most recently recognized member of Bunya variety is the hantavirus, responsible for hantavirus pulmonary syndrome (HPS). Others form of the genus hantavirus causes hemorrhagic fever. Then we have uh, RNA variety. Like the Bunya viruses, the RNA viruses are enveloped negative sense RNA viruses, but their genome has only two segments. RNA viruses are carried by rodents. Human infections occur via aerosols, exposure to infectious urine or feces, or rat bites. Argentinian and Bolivian hemorrhagic fevers and Lassa fever are RNA viruses infections. Then we have double-stranded RNA viruses, reoviridae. Reoviridae or reoviruses have a naked polyhedral capsid. They are medium-sized double-stranded RNA viruses. They replicate in the cytoplasm and form distinctive inclusions that stain with eosine. Reoviruses include the orthoaeroviruses, orbiviruses, and rotaviruses. The rotaviruses are the most common cause of severe diarrhea in infants and in young children under age 2. They are responsible for minor upper respiratory and gastrointestinal infections in adults. The other reoviruses infect other animals. Ingestion of only 10 rotavirus particles are sufficient sufficient to cause infection and diarrhea. They are quite small, you can see about only 70 nanometer in size. So this includes our RNA viruses. We have already covered DNA viruses and other RNA viruses previously. So that includes our classification section of RNA viruses. I hope you will learn easily about it and go through the lecture again and prepare for your assignments, which I'll give you later on.